I want to talk a little bit about just your principles of coaching. A lot of our listeners and viewers here are coaching at the youth level, the high school level, whether they're parents or whether they're volunteers or whatnot. I just want to get into a little bit of your philosophy as a coach. What are the core principles? If I sent my daughter to play basketball for coach, what are the key tenets that are must-haves in a program that you're running?
Well, I could name a lot, but I'm going to try to just kind of describe who I am. I'm
Yep.
real, I'm honest, I'm passionate, and I'm going to give you everything I have on that sideline every day. And that's all I ever wanted from a coach. Teach me the game, be honest with me, make me better, and make me a better person. And those are the things that I just try to I don't want to say make a player see in me. Be who you are. Players aren't going to be hoodwinked. You cannot hoodwink players. When you walk in that locker room, you better know what you're telling them. You better believe in what you're telling them. And you better be able to have them run through a wall for you. Some of the best coaches I ever played for were terrible motivators. They would give you all this great knowledge, and I thought, well, now, okay, we know all that, but, motivate me a little bit. I'm not good at being passive. Passive coaches do not motivate me. I always wanted to play for those coaches that pumped their fist and got excited and challenged me as a player. And the sideline, when I'm into it, I don't remember, Greg, half the stuff I do because I'm in the moment with those players. I'm feeling it with them. And that's the way I played the game. And it doesn't mean that every player has to be that way, but I do believe this: nothing in life, nothing great is ever achieved without enthusiasm. If you don't have enthusiasm for going to work every day and do what you do, then quit doing it. But that doesn't mean every day is going to be great. That doesn't mean some days you're not going to be worn out. That doesn't mean some days you're going to wake up, man, I'm just tired. That's normal. But if you don't have enthusiasm, why do you do what you do? Sometimes parents don't live in the real world and they think their child needs to maybe be on that really, really good team. And maybe your child needs to be on the lesser team to fulfill what you want, them to do. And I think it's hard because some people have the philosophy, Greg, that I'm paying the same amount of money that is, we're at the same amount of practices, they should get the same amount of playing time. I see that on paper, exactly what you're talking about. But in the course of a game, I think rules have kind of helped coaches knowing they got to play this many innings or, this much playing time. And it kind of, helps the coach. But as they get older, parents need to evaluate their own kids' talents and say, okay, if I want my child on that great team, I might have to understand they may not get that much playing time, but I could take them over here to this team and they could be the superstar on this team. So whatever it is, be fair to your child. Don't cause a scene. Understand and say all these are teaching life's lessons and it's not a bad thing. Then as they get older, you change your philosophy a little bit in that, your kid may get cut. This is the livelihood of that coach to pick the best players. And so then that's another whole emotion that you have to deal with as a parent. But it's all good. In the long run, this is all good. And you just can't allow it to overwhelm you on, life's lessons that they're learning. And I think what happens, it goes back to, we want everything to be perfect and easy for our children. And it's never going to be that way.
God, we see what you just said, we see live out with our kids' teams and sports that we coach on a daily basis. And I couldn't agree more. Sometimes on certain teams, if the expectations are clear about what the team's goals are and how the team's going to be run, and the coach communicates that to the parents, that's all you ask as a parent. If it's a fit for your kid's skill level, his commitment level, great, then you stick to it. If it's not a fit, I don't believe the team's responsibility is to morph themselves to the needs of the families. I believe it's the family's responsibility to find a team that is compatible with their own belief system, their own competitive system, their own abilities. Everything you just said there, I couldn't agree more.